Welcome to Firearms of America. Today I'm back here at Shooters in Fort Myers, Florida, about to do another review of a Glock, and this time it is the special Glock, the Glock 45. And the reason why it is special is because I wanted to review this gun for a very long time, but I just could not get my hands on it, and finally I have it here. Glock 45, chambered in 9mm. This is not really called a Generation 5 per se, but this is their newer addition to their line, so it has all of the features of the Generation 5 Glocks that you can find in your typical Generation Glock, whatever, whether it's a Glock 19, Glock 17. In fact, speaking of those two, Glock 19 and Glock 17, this is the crossover version of the Glock 19 and Glock 17. Yes, so this is like a hybrid between the two. It has the frame of the Glock 17, meaning that it can carry 17 capacity standard magazine, yes, and it has a 4-inch barrel, meaning it has the slide the same length as your Glock 19. So let's put a few rounds through it and see what it can do. Now, if you have been subscribed to this channel for a few months now, you probably remember me doing the review of another crossover Glock that was a brand new addition to the Glock line that they fairly recently released. And it was a Glock 19X. Yes, and it is also a crossover between the Glock 19 and the Glock 17. It has the frame of the Glock 17 and the slide, the barrel length of the Glock 19. Now, the only main difference really between the Glock 45 that I have here today and the Glock 19X, the obvious one is the color. The Glock 19 is tan, is because it was specifically designed for the military use, and it does not come with any extended magazines, which Glock 19X does. Now, personally, I do like Glock 19X because I think the tan color is pretty cool whenever it comes to handguns, and I also do like the extended magazine. It comes with, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, 19 capacity magazine, maybe even 21 with the extension. I have to double check that. But this one comes with 3 17 capacity magazines, and as you can see, these are nicely numbered. If you are not familiar with Glock magazines, Glock magazines. Now, the only thing that changed from previous Generation 4, Generation 3 in the Generation 5 is that they added this, keep forgetting the name for this, orange thing. Now, I like it orange. Previously it was black, but I do like orange because it makes it easier to load, because you see it right away, right? I think that's why really they changed it. So let's see, I do have 5 rounds in. Let's do some shooting and see what this Glock 45 can do. Now, I think I'm gonna go for this yellow in the very center. All right. See if I can hit it from the very first shot. And nicely, yes I can. And wow. Not a bad group. And not a bad gun, obviously. Wow. Let me pull 5 more rounds because this feels phenomenal. I mean, practically no recoil. I mean, for 4-inch barrel, 9mm, that's probably what you would expect. But I think it is a huge plus to have that longer grip. And here, as you can see, compared to your Glock 19, which is a little bit easier, would be a little bit easier to conceal compared to this one. Here you have more space to have a proper grip on this grip. Now, to kind of give you a little bit, if you have not watched any of my previous reviews, if you're wondering what is really the difference between Generation 4 and Generation 5, grip is one of the main differences between the Generation 4 and the Generation 5. They got rid of those finger grooves that they had in the Generation 3 and Generation 4 Glocks. Personally, I didn't mind the finger grooves, and I don't really mind not having them either. I think this is a great grip. There's definitely decent amount of aggression, definitely more aggression than the Generation 3, maybe a little bit more aggression than the Generation 4. Very similar to the Generation 4, except there are no finger grooves. But I think this Glock 17, Glock 34 sized frame, I think is the optimal frame to have that perfect grip that you need in order to be able to handle the recoil, manage the recoil as good as you can. So let's see if I can hit any of those flippy pedals with this. Alrighty. I think I can do a better job if I concentrate a little bit more. Let's put 5 more rounds, because why not? The ammo is cheap these days and readily available, especially the 9mm. Yeah, I wish. No, not really, but it's all right. This is Glock 45. I've been waiting for this review for a very long time, so I'll do it. I'll try to do a better job this time. With those flappy pedals, they require some concentration. All right. 3 out of 5. Still not enough to be proud of myself. So let's get back to our Glock 45. We have our mag release. It is not ambidextrous, but it is reversible, and it works flawlessly. This is one of the other things that changed between the generations, little by little, not much. But here you do have a little bit of a bigger area mag release and a little bit flatter, more flush sitting to the frame. Now you're probably wondering, speaking of the grip, what are these kind of, almost looks like there is an attachment, and yes, there is. With a brand new purchase of a Glock, you do get several different attachments in case if you do want to make this grip, which honestly to me it fits perfectly, but if you have bigger hands and you want to make it a little bit wider overall, you can definitely do it here. All right, so let's talk about the slide now. Now, wrecking the slide, definitely tighter spring compared to the overall. You know, if you just line up a lot of different handguns on the table out there, this is probably somewhere a little bit above the middle whenever it comes to being tough to rack. And I have to notice that between the generations, this is one of the other differences, is that they did upgrade the guide rod, and I will show you right now. As you can see, it looks fancy over there. Yes, because they made the spring actually tougher, and that's one of the reasons why the newer generation Glocks, they became much easier to handle. They handle the recoil much better compared to the previous ones. They're a little bit harder to rack, but at the same time they handle the recoil a little bit better. So it's kind of halfway compromise, you know. I think I'd rather sacrifice the easiness of racking and then having a better recoil management compared to easier to rack and but jumpier gun. Now, speaking of the racking and the slide in general, we do have our slide release, and it is ambidextrous. Yes, so this gun is actually lefty friendly. Yes, because the slide release is ambidextrous, and you can change the positioning of the mag release, and there you go. You have a very lefty friendly handgun. So let's put 5 more rounds, and we will talk about the trigger and the sights. So the sights did not really change much between the generations. We still have our standard Glock sights, which are pretty much like your typical 3-dot sights, except the rear sight we have not a dot, but it's more of kind of like a bar going. And whenever it comes to the slide, you probably notice we do have serrations on the back and the front of the slide, in case if you like to rack it like this, in case you're one of those people. So let's see if I can hit that orange on the very top. It's tiny. See if I can get it. Concentrate. Close, but not really. Yes! See, I get too excited. Alright, let's try to get the last one. And got it. Perfect! Alright, so let's talk about the trigger. Now the trigger here, if you're not familiar with the Glock and you're wondering about the safety of the gun, this is where the safety is. This is called a safe action system. This pre-trigger over here, which serves as a drop safety mechanism, and also, you know, prevents the trigger accidentally going off if you're not pressing. Personally, to me, it's more of the psychological factor that you have the finger on the trigger before you actually have the finger on the trigger. That's I like it. That's the reason why I like it. But here we have our typical 26 pull Glock trigger with about like 3.5 millimeters of very safe, familiar travel, and then a crisp break. Very good trigger. I really like it. Now I already mentioned the sights. Personally, to me, these standard Glock sights are a little bit harder to adjust to. I prefer just the normal 3-dot sights. So my personal Glocks, I do upgrade them to just normal dots. Nothing too fancy, but 3 dots and maybe night sights. Why not? Because especially if you're using it for home defense, definitely helpful. But overall, I think this is a great option if you do like to have that bigger grip that Glock 17 has, but you still want something that is more or less concealed carry friendly, because, you know, after all, 4-inch barrel is definitely much easier to conceal, especially if you're carrying, you know, IWB inside the waistband, you know, on the back, or maybe even the appendix carry. Even in the shoulder holster, this is much easier, especially if it's a horizontal shoulder holster. This is much easier to conceal compared to 4.5-inch barrel or full-size 5-inch barrel. So overall, I am definitely glad that Glock, make it complicated for myself. Definitely glad that Glock introduced this brand new model. Personally, I do like it a lot. I think if you were a fan of a Glock 19X, but you just did not want to have a 10 handgun, well, Glock 45 seems to be the answer. So let me know in the comments below, guys, what do you think about this review? If you want to see me do a big comparison between the Glock 45, Glock 19 and Glock 17, let me know in the comments as well. And for now, I do have all 3 guns, so I am actually able to do that. So while I have it, let me know. I can definitely do that. But my next review here, I do have with me, well, not right here, it's over there in the next room. It's a Glock 19 Generation 2, which I have not shot any Generation 2 Glocks yet, so this is, I'm also excited to do that one. Thank you very much, guys, for watching. This was Firearms of America. I'll see you guys in the next video.